guys, so today we're having a look at the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation, which says it gives an up to 24-hour matte finish. So that's a big claim. So I have the shade Porcelain. You get 30 mils. It is £15 or $15. For some reason they've decided the exchange rate is equal. This is available in 45 shades. And what they say is it's a waterproof, richly pigmented formula, comes in a range of shades to match most skin tones, while the creamy formula glides onto skin like silk to create a smooth and even complexion. Staying put for up to 24 hours of wear, the foundation helps to control shine for a seamless, salon-worthy finish, suitable for normal, oily, combination and sensitive skin types. So we will get this on. I am obviously wearing it today. It is a glass pump bottle. It's quite heavy actually, which wouldn't be ideal for travelling, but you can always decant it, which is what I usually do. I have wee jars like this for when I'm travelling. But anyway, we've got an application section and we will, as always, do a wear test. Right, so I've been giving this a bit of a shake because it does say shake well before use, which I'm kind of wishing if it was going to be shake well before use, I wish I had like one of these airless vacuum pumps, because I feel like when this starts to get emptier and you're shaking it, you know, it's all going to be up the sides and the pump's not going to work very well. But anyway, so this is actually sealed. I'm just trying to get it off neatly. I don't think I'm going to achieve that because I'm not that person. Because there is a little bit along here with like the dotted lines for tearing, but hey, I had to actually wedge my nail in there to get it done. So I feel like I've also just like ripped off part of the actual label, which is a bummer because I haven't done my thumbnail yet and now it's gonna look, you know, jakey, so oops, oh well. So I've got the shade 1.3 Light Porcelain. So there were actually shades that were too light for me in this, which is a nice change. So it's a really heavy bottle, but I suspect that it is the bottle. You get 30 mils of foundation and it is a pump. So let's try and get this started. Okay. So that's maybe slightly less than I normally put out, but we'll see what the coverage is like on this because it is meant to be full coverage. I'm just using my Nancy foundation brush because I've been using this for years now and I'm kind of familiar with it, so I like using it when I'm doing a review because I know how it's going to behave. So okay, so straight up, not loving how this is sitting on my skin. I do have primer on, but look at this, and I've got the One Heck of a Blot, which is like a silicone-y primer on. But that's just, it's not a good look. That's horrible. Ooh. Is it going to happen on this side? Is it just I didn't get enough primer there? No? Now it's not gripping to a spot at all. What on earth is going on? I mean, straight up, if you had texture to your skin, you would be in hell trying to make this foundation look good by the looks of things. And for full coverage, I mean, it's definitely a high coverage, but I've got a bit of, activity spots at the moment. They are showing through quite clearly, I would say. Clearer than I would expect with a full coverage labelled foundation. Oh god, my forehead's doing the same thing. No. No. Okay, if this doesn't get better, I'm literally sitting here thinking, I want my money back. I mean, ugh. Sorry, that sounds really bratty. But I'm not loaded, and this is just beyond bad at this point. Like, I don't understand how this has been released onto consumers if it's gonna sit like this on your skin. And it like oh god, are you guys seeing this? Am I overreacting? Or is this just like, and I can't like keep blending it or it starts lifting. Like, try and build up some coverage around here. Cause, yeah, I've got a wee bit of dry skin going on around there. That looks pretty awful. My nose looks pretty awful. This cheek is awful. This cheek is not great, but it's better. The forehead just, wow. Okay. Beginning to think I should have used Damp Beauty Blender with this formula, but then that's going to sheer out the coverage even more, and I already think the coverage isn't quite as full coverage as, they're trying to say on the bottle. And yeah, because I've went over most areas of my face more than once at this point. And yeah. So I'm having a bit of a difficulty getting this even. I'm going to switch the ring light off. So I think it's going to show more like the kind of blotchiness in areas of my face. So like there's an area around here that just isn't sitting evenly with the rest of my forehead. And just... And yeah. Next. You've done me dirty. Thing is, now I just want to really fix this with concealer, which defeats the purpose of a foundation tryout, but what am I meant to do? I don't want to look awful all day. Right. So let's try my under eye concealer and see how it plays with this foundation that I really don't want to ever reach for again. I will try it with a dampened beauty blender during the week if I get up in time one day. I'll make sure to get up in time at least one day this week to do a, different application section. So okay, so the concealer blends nicely with it. Right, so this is the bit that's going to be difficult for me. So I'm going to do the rest of my normal concealer, not just the corrector. And I'm going to try and keep it quite minimal and not use it to overly correct the bits I don't like about the appearance of this foundation, so that we can get a bit of a wear test out of it. Have any of you guys tried this? Am I the only person that's had this experience? Have I got a bad one? Let me know down below. It's a thing. It can happen. Right. I have to fix my nose. I'm sorry. I can see all the redness down my nose, and I know that's just going to get worse during the day, so I'm allowing myself a stripe down my nose. The most broke out parts of my chin. And this kind of broke out patch here. So restricting concealer use. God knows what this is going to look like once I get powder on it though. Oh, I'm so nervous to powder my face. I've never been nervous to powder my face before. So normally I love NYX. I go and look at their display all the time. I love the lip lingeries, I love their eyeshadows, I love their under eye corrector. This is making me sad. Okay. Alright, powder. Let's see how this goes. So, Peach Perfect. I'm still absolutely head over heels in love with this powder. I'm terrified that they're going to like discontinue it because the fact that it's a themed range makes it seem limited edition. Like, does that make sense? Right. So, as ever, doing my under eyes first, because that's where I want to be more precise, and then I get a bit less precise when I do the rest of my face. Okay, that's bizarrely has saved it a little bit. This is such a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous powder. It does seem to have blurred some of the issues with that foundation. So, I need a faster zoom. My cheek looks slightly less horrendous. My nose is back to looking horrendous. It's just lifted. It doesn't seem to want to stay on my nose at all. And my forehead is a little bit better. So I'm going to go finish up the rest of my... I really need to fix that nose. I can't stay with that. Please, God, stick and don't lift. So I'm going to just be so delicate with this and hope that it stays, because that's horrible. Still feel like that lifted a little bit, but okay. So I'm going to go finish the rest of my makeup, but if anybody wants to, you know, do their check-in from just now, it's 11:10, so I'll be right back. Right, so my full makeup is done. It is now just after 11:25, so I'm going to go about my day and we'll see how this holds up. So I will be back to check in a bit. Right, my day just got away from me again. It's actually 9:30, so I've had this foundation on for 10 hours. So let's zoom in. It's actually looking pretty good, you know, in terms of oil breakthrough. I've got a bit on my nose, but I've seen far worse. This bit of my cheek's still looking pretty bad. That's the eyeshadow, ignore that. It's not broken up in a whole lot of places. That's more been me scratching. But it'll allow me to fix it, which is almost a bonus. So, you know, right. Overall, at the moment, I'm still not in love with and wouldn't be recommending this because it's not the nicest finished, it's not giving as good oil control. But in terms of the finish, I definitely think I want to retry it with like a sponge beauty blender type applicator and see if that kind of removes that element of it. because if you can get the nice finish, then if you have less oily skin than me, this has at least been comfortable and the coverage has stayed quite well. So if your skin wasn't as oily, you would still be looking matte. So we'll retry, we'll see how it goes, and then I will make my final call on this one. Right, so time to try this foundation with a sponge. I've got my Poundland sponge, which is one of my favourites. It's so squishy and it's so soft. I have, of course, wet this, and hopefully this will look a little bit better done with a sponge. I've got the same primer on, so the One Heck of a Blot from Soap and Glory. So, it took me ages to get around to doing this second section. I kept sleeping in and turning up at work with like bare minimum or no makeup. So, oh well. Most of the time I'm on the phone anyway, so it doesn't really matter if I'm not made up and gorgeous for work. So, right. Oh God, it's worse. Was not expecting that. Let's see if we can we fix this? Okay. Okay. This foundation also just doesn't seem to want to stick to itself. Okay, so we seem to have the exact same problem with, you know, the pore situation. It just looks really bad on me. So it's like it's really settling into pores, even though I did use a primer. And yeah, and obviously I've just not managed to get in around the corner of my nose. That's not the foundation's fault. Yeah, this is just as bad with a sponge. So I'm going to go and try and make my face look a little bit better, but I am firmly putting this in the goodbye category. I just don't see a point in a foundation that starts out looking like this, and God, I definitely wouldn't want something to look like this for 24 hours. So, you know, nice shade range, it's in a pump, it lasted okay, but it's just not sitting well on my skin, and I'm finding it difficult to get a nice finish that I actually enjoy and would be proud to go out with. I'm going to go and fix my face with concealer, and if you guys have got any questions, leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.